Think about it. If you've got a madman waving a gun, does the cop come in and say, let's defuse this situation? You put down the gun, I'll put down the gun. No, when the crazy man with the gun yells, the cop yells louder. They're there to oppress. They are not there to de-escalate. Then, of course, there's the racial dynamics. There's a disconnect between the policy and how that policy is enforced, whether that's by police or by the American justice system in general, like judges. And this gap is where the subjectivity can come in, and that's where the racism can come in. They've done studies across millions of routine police stops and shown that even when they correct for factors like the location or neighborhood they're in, the types of offenses, and other situational factors, Black and Hispanic people are much more likely to experience violence from police than white people. Not to mention that the increase in likelihood that violence is committed against you if you commit violence towards the police first is negligible for white people compared to the increase for Black people. Black and Latinx populations are disproportionately involved in investigative stops relative to their proportions of the population, even though in some of those studies, white people were more likely to actually have contraband. I think that's because there's like a written piece of policy that says that they have to do that, or is that because maybe there's some subjectivity between the law and what can be enforced and where and on who? And that's where your subconscious bias comes in. Subconscious bias that you have to work to unlearn. Do you think the police academy is teaching them how to de-escalate situations? Do you think the police academy is teaching them how to undo their subconscious bias? I don't. And so when people say defund the police, I feel like it's often associated with, well, you just want criminals to be criminals. You just want crazy lawlessness. Right? Liberals and leftists are soft on crime. And it's like, no, I believe in the good in people. And I believe that when you don't oppress them as much, they don't commit crimes as much to start with. We spend $160 to $170 billion a year on state and local polices. How many people do you think we could get out of poverty with that money? How much social infrastructure could we build so that people are not as desperate or are too occupied to be able to commit crimes? There's no good evidence to show that increased police spending leads to less crimes actually happening. But there is good evidence to show that when you invest in social structures and bringing people out of poverty, they commit crimes less to start with. So why is the emphasis on police? And the emphasis is on police because they are there to protect the state. And they are there to continue the flow of people into the for-profit prison system.